Hello and welcome to more awesome collection, classic toys. We're looking at the huge Motorific G.T.O Torture Track racetrack set. The Motorific. They were cool sets. Unlike slot cars that had metal pieces throughout the track and ran on current, these are battery operated cars that you put on the track. Let me see if I can just show you how big this thing is. I mean, it is huge. It's like 4.5, 5 feet long, the box, and 2 feet high. This is, I think, the second big one. I have an earlier one. This is from about 65 or so, 66. Maybe I'll find something that has the date on it when I move the box around. This huge set came with all kinds of cool stuff. Let's read it off here. Complete set includes new motor testing featuring the sound of Motorific, new performance tents, 4 ramps and 20 trestles, new horsepower test, new cornering test, crash test, spring test, 6 signs, curve track, straight tracks, crossover, left-right switches, Y switches, half tracks and quarter tracks, 1 car body, motor and chassis pins. So look at this. So you could have this elevated. That's these parts right here. The basic parts are the curves and the straight, and then it has smaller pieces, halves and crossovers and quarters. So you can make all kinds of different layouts. So this is just one layout you can make. There's the big test here. The sound of Motorific. This fits in here like that. Very cool. Motorific test. There's the cornering test. You bump into these. They're on very loose springs. So if you can knock into them or bounce them around when the car goes swivel down there. Here's the jump track, depending on which way you're going. Sometimes it goes around, or if it's going this way, or it jumps. This would be the horsepower test. That would attach to this. The car would stop and make this go. This was one of my favorites. This crash test was in one of the earlier ones. And they sold all this stuff separately, too. Because the cars would come right through and go... very cool. And then here's some of the pieces that would... It's got a switch in there. So the cars would come by and then hit the switch. And it would either go one way or the other. Same with this, the smaller one. These are the new ramps. Help extend it up. This fits on that. Very cool. And then there's one car. So they give you a car at random. It's got the purple Grand Prix right here. Still pretty good shape. The antenna isn't completely knocked off. So the batteries should go in there. There'd be 2 AA batteries would go in there. You can see the Ideal logo on there. Car dated 1964. And then the engine would go up in front there. As with these, a lot of the times from sitting, how the tire got flat. A lot of these can still go if you get a good motor. I have a Minton, the little case box replacement motor. I did a video on that before. I'll give a link to that and one of the car chassis. So look at all the different cool cars they're showing. I think that's the Jaguar. I think I have that one. And then later on, they came out with trucks and a highway set. I have one of those. Of course, then they have smaller sets. This is a giant thing. Imagine this would be the big one. I don't know if you could get enough wrapping paper of one type to wrap this thing up. Put it under the Christmas tree. That would be quite the thing. This is in very good shape, except at somewhere a point that along the time it got wear. Take a look at the sides. Gran Turismo Omomolagato. Goodness. Takes up a lot of space to store this. One day, maybe next year, when I have things more straightened out and I have more space and time, set up one of these and get some of the ones that with the engine still work and show how they go. It was pretty fun. So you could run this car on the ground, or when you run it in the track, there's a tiny little metal pin. That's what they mean by chassis pin, that just attaches to the front of the edge of the car, and then it'll go in the slot. This one, it's taken off right now, but it just clicks on there. Alrighty, so that's something different. If you haven't seen this, from the early to mid 60s, racing track set, a different kind, battery operated. You can make all different kinds of layouts because it's all interchangeable. On this, you can get more track, and it was a whole thing. It went for a number of years until about 1968. Then they came out with something they called Mini Motorific to compete with all the Hot Wheels and so forth. And then that fizzled out by 69, and then they were done. So this was one of Ideal's big toy lines. Boys' toys, racing toys for the kids. Until next time, thanks for liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. More classic toys, awesome collection to come. Thank you.